Giant sunspots wreaking havoc on the Earth. What will happen? Hello, this is Chart GPT today. NASA have discovered some really large sunspot activity. It can be even seen from Mars. It was kind of discovered with the Mars rover Perseverance, snapped some pictures over 152 miles from the sun on Mars. So it's quite interesting. Now what they're saying, it could release some massive solar storms that will knock out Earth power grids and maybe even disturb the radios next weeks or the coming weeks here. So we'll see what happens. I guess a sunspot appears when it's darker because it's a cooler area of the sun, and so they spot this, and so it's quite interesting that they've spotted. Here's a little bit of a photo. It doesn't really show you much, but the point is the things that could happen on Earth. They need to be aware that perhaps it might knock out different systems because of the solar waves hitting and the energy hitting the Earth. Now these solar flares come and go, sunspots come and go, and they call them solar maximums and solar minimums. During a solar maximum, you have all kinds of sunspot activity flares, and you have heightened magnetic activity. The impact on the Earth and space is can cause geomagnetic storms on the Earth and affect power grids, satellite operations, communication systems, etc., etc. So that's why you should be aware of these solar maximums. They have in the past increased solar radiations, heat the Earth's atmosphere. That could be one explanation why we've had a pretty hot summer here, because we've kind of hit a mini. We'll see that the charts coming up, mini solar maximum. And obviously can lead to beautiful displays of aurora borealis. We've seen that in Southern Lights. We've seen that already. Now on the minimums, it's obviously just the opposite. Lower magnetic activity, and reduction can be reduction in fewer disruptions in communications, etc., etc. So it's interesting to see the difference between the maximum and the minimum of the solar. And also, it can have a cooling effect. So if we go into a solar minimum, it might actually be more cooler. We have been pretty hot recently. The scenario here, let's take a look at the chart. First of all, here's a long-term 400-year charts. We've been a sort of a mini solar maximum for quite a few years, probably almost 200 years prior to the 1750s. We're at some kind of minimum, kind of ups and downs, and it ebbs and flows here. Of course, the prediction is that we're going from a maximum a maximum to a solar minimum. That's the predictions. Of course, that's going to happen between now and the year 2050, which is kind of a long way away, but let's look a little bit closer. You see these things kind of come in cycles, and here's the local cycle. We're in this current cycle here, and it's actually rising on a very short-term basis. On a long-term basis, we're declining, but on a short-term basis, we're rising, and that's kind of what we're experiencing. That being said, there's no law that says it has to follow the predictions of the previous charts. So we're going to a solar maximum during about now to 2025. So this could generate the heat, and then after that there could be some global warming, and then after that could be global cooling. Whether or not the humans are causing that addition with the CO2, I won't get into that debate here. But it's kind of interesting to be aware of what's going on the sun. You ask the AI what are some of the effects that could be for our environment, so it might be interesting to read that. And a question to you in taking our online poll: do these solar maximum and minimums have greater effect on the climate than humans do? Of course, they're all telling us climate change is human-made, but could these also have an effect, and have maybe a bigger effect in terms of the maximums and minimums throughout the centuries, even millennia? Don't forget to subscribe.